most of the black conservative men I watch on television or I watch on YouTube are all married to white women.
White women, yeah.
Because the pool of conservative women and the women who think like Danielle and I, the pool of white women is a lot greater
than
black women are mostly liberal feminists. And so if you're a black man who wants a more conservative lifestyle where you want to be the head of the family, it's gonna be tougher.
Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. So, okay, let's get into the video. So, Desmond, okay. Alright, to be honest, sometimes I think black men should move on from black women. White women don't have the same entitled attitude that most black women have. I read through a lot of your comments, and as you can see, a lot of black men are surprised by the way you two are and the way you two carry yourselves. We don't know you, and I don't know them, so clearly it's not the norm for from what we as black men see on a daily basis from black women. Serious question, and I know you cannot speak for all, but where does that angry black woman attitude come from? Because it doesn't seem to be like that with other races of women. Good content, by the way, Desmond. Okay, thank you, Desmond. I appreciate that. You know, so we get this a lot. Okay, where black men will do the, you know, I'm gonna go to a white woman kind of talk. A lot of you guys don't know this. Our mother is mixed.
Yeah.
Our grandmother was a white woman. Rest in peace to her. But she was a white woman. She was German and Irish, you guys. And she was very instrumental in our lives growing up. So we're very, very close to our grandmother. And she was a white woman. You know, our grandfather, you know, obviously was black. So we don't have a bad kind of like association with white women like maybe some other black women do.
Yeah, because I just wanted to say because our grandmother was raised. My grandmother married my grandfather in the civil rights time. So when I think about bad white people, I just can't, because it's in my family. That's just not true. She could have lost her own life. That I don't have a distaste for white people because I think it's directly linked to us.
Because a lot of times when people send us when black men say this to us specifically, they're saying that in a way of they're trying to get under your skin because you chose white. You didn't say Hispanic. You didn't say, you know, Asian or anything like that. It was, you know,
people of color.
Yeah, like you chose white because you know that a lot of black women are like, you know, can't stand seeing black men with white girls, white women, you know. I don't have that same feeling. I believe in interracial, obviously, we had a white grandmother, so I believe in interracial dating, marriage, and all of that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. So if that's where black men need to go, that's where you need to go if you feel comfortable with that. The problem I'm having with it, when black men say this in this context, you're kind of using the white woman as a weapon towards black women. Because what you're saying is you know, we're gonna be done with you, but we're gonna, you know, put this white girl in your face just to show, you know. So it's kind of like, I kind of feel bad for the when black men date white women in that mentality, because you're not dating her necessarily because you like this woman. You're dating her in spite of, you know. So we're trying to get rid of the in spite of, right?
Look, I don't have a problem with interracial dating at all. I prefer to date black men, but you never know who you're going to fall in love with. You know what I mean? So to me, race, race is just kind of,
it's too focused. Like I feel like people are too focused too much on it sometimes, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great that you guys think that Danielle and I are a light in the dark, because we had a lot of people who wrote that, you know what I mean, to us.
A lot
of men who wrote like, you guys give me hope and things like that, which makes me realize that black men still kind of want to date black women, you know, or they didn't know that there was, you know, black women. But I also think that the attitude, because he also talked about attitude.
Well, that's what I wanted to get to.
The attitude, I think a lot of, I mean, like I said, whenever I talk about the demographics as far as, I think it's like 74% of black mothers are single. I think a lot of that bad choices or just having a lot of responsibility, because now you're a mother, then you also have to date with a child, and the guy who got you pregnant probably doesn't have to now deal with that. A lot of women get really upset and frustrated through not having a man, that they kind of get angry. But the other part of it, I think, is that even black men have attitude sometimes. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it's our culture.
Yeah.
Because it's the cool guy culture.
Yeah.
We can't smile or we can't be nice to people. You know, we work in a hotel, and I can tell you how many black people, men and women, that you'll say hi to them and they'll act like you're talking like a foreign
I know, it's so
language.
weird.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
what?
They don't. It's like they're not used to hearing someone say hello.
Yeah, say something nice.
Or they just kind of have an attitude. It doesn't matter if you've got education or if you're just not educated. I think a lot of our culture makes us into...
Well, we glorify the anger. Yeah,
right.
so it's like we do glorify that. So when it comes to black women, and you're asking where do we think, I know we can't speak for everybody, but there's a lot of different reasons. People's childhood trauma that happened then, they didn't get help for that, and it escalated into them becoming this pent up, chip on your shoulder, angry black woman, right? So there's a lot of different reasons. I think that if I were to pinpoint outside of like trauma, I would say a lot of it has to do with social media. And I say that because we've created a society of women who are like we said in the video, want to be validated. And when a woman wants to be validated, right, by others, it creates this kind of narcissistic attitude.
Like I'm saying, going back to feminism. Feminism is telling women that they don't need a man. And so when women their heads get inflated with that.
And they experience it, like, oh no, I need a man.
They get inflated with that. And then you've got all these people that are helping them feel that way. You know, like a lot of black women, it's hard for them to get married. And they still have the same attitude. I'm independent. I got a PhD. I don't need a man. I don't need this. And then turn around and say, no one likes me. The men are, no one likes me. Men are against me. The patriarchy just won't leave me alone. And then turn around and say, black girl magic. I'm a queen. And all this, it's all of these things that they don't match.
And then feminism made them feel like also that, they did all the things. They did all the things, right? The black woman did all the things. She got the degree. She got the fancy job. She owns the home. She's doing all the things, right? And then this part of her life that's a failure is the relationship part, because it didn't pan out, right? So what feminists said is going to work didn't. She becomes angry. Like, I'm doing all the stuff. I have all the things. Like, why is this? Why am I not married yet?
Where's my king?
Yeah, where's my king at? They're trying to be everything, right? And then hope they can catch one. And it's like, it doesn't work. That will anger a woman that expected too much. She tried to be something she's not. It gets frustrating for them. Very frustrating. Because they don't, what do I do now? Like, how old am I going to be before I do this? I did the things again, I did the things. And it's just not panning out. That creates a lot of anger in a woman. And then what happens is she goes out in the world, dates, chip on her shoulder.
With the demographic of single motherhood, you understand that is a big demographic of women. And I stress that single motherhood rate in the black community, because when you're almost hitting 80%, in the next 10 years, that will be a fact. Yeah. You know what I mean? An 80% single mother rate in one demographic of people. You look at that and you think there are a lot of black women that are alone. And black women who raise black women, black girls, they raise angry women. Yeah. So these young girls see their mother doing everything by themselves, and their mother's probably talking shit about men. Yeah. You know what I mean? And the girl has nothing to really compare her mother's attitude to, because there's nobody there, there's no man there to say, no, this isn't true. This is because I'm here. You know what I mean? And then they go out, this is what they say, single mothers breed single mothers. Because then once you go out there and have an attitude, because even with that attitude, they still want to date. They still want a man. They're still saying it. They don't realize it. I don't need a man. Yes, you do. You're still dating. You
still need a man.
You know what I mean? You're still dating.
Then they don't want to say that.
Yeah, they don't want to let their guard down, because most black women are single. Yeah. And they're afraid that if they let their guard down, you're going to hurt them, move on to another woman, and they don't want to be submissive
Yeah.
to, and it's funny to me that submission is in the Bible, and most black people are religious. It's
Which is
funny that
always
so many
interesting.
black
I
women
know.
can't submit when the Bible tells them to, and most black women are Christian.
Well, like we said in another video, the word submission has taken on new form. So the word submission now means weak. Someone called us weak because we said
Yeah,
that we
so we absolutely call us weak.
we believe that, you know, when you're married and all that, you are supposed to let a man lead, and then you are supposed to submit to him. Now that word has a terrible, like, it has a terrible, like, not to us, but to women in society today, it is like a dark cloud over that word. And it really isn't. It's actually a beautiful word, because it's just meaning that you're putting your trust and love into a man, right? The man that you're with for the rest of your life, and you're allowing him to lead. You're allowing yourself to be a feminine woman. You know what I mean? So it really is a nice word, but because we're in this world where women are just have to rule. We just gotta rule. Just gotta do it, okay? I don't need no man to do that. I don't need no man to do that. I don't need you, okay? All I need you to do is just love me. And it's like, you don't understand, like, a lot of women just don't understand the way men love. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think they know how to properly love, because they're not being women. They're trying to be men and then overrule you. This is a very frustrating thing for a lot of women. So, you know, like, in my opinion, I feel like there's really three main things to me that makes a woman angry. If you're asking, like, the base thing, I would say trauma from the past. I would say social media, and then I would say feminism. These things, you know, those things, you know, it's very fluent. You know, people have different lives. And things, different reason why people become angry, but I do think those are the main reasons why why women are upset and mad and angry. I honestly think that if women would just be more feminine, they would be more happy. I don't think they know that. You know what I mean? I don't think they realize that.
If you were to say, to his question, why black women are so angry, well, when you, like, again, when you look at the demographic of single black mothers, and then you add feminism. See, because feminism gave black women a reason.
Yeah, it did.
So, you know what I mean? And of any demographic, white, Hispanic, or Asian, the black woman would probably fall for feminism quicker because they're single mothers.
Right.
They're already doing feminism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so for them, that kind of makes you angry. A lot of people don't want to take responsibility for their choices. You know what I mean? And so, and everybody at some point does this, where they blame somebody else for their choices. A lot of black women hate men because they made bad choices with men. Like, we were watching, what is it, Jesse Lee Peterson said today, that when I stopped making women my God, I became, I concentrated on my own life, and she had to come to my life. And that is true. And I know a lot of women are going to look at that as sexist, but that is true. Men are not supposed to be, we're not supposed to be the God over men. Men aren't supposed to be sitting around worshiping us all day. You know what I mean? No. They're supposed to be focused and determined and getting their life together and being something that we want to be with. So
you know what
I'm saying? Like, we're supposed to want your masculinity. And your masculinity can't be if all the time you're always, you know, affirming us.
Yeah.
And always doing everything we say and always worshiping us all the time. You're not supposed to worship God. You're not supposed to worship a woman.
Unfortunately, we're in a culture right now where women are just like that. Like, it's not, it's now crossing barriers and crossing races now. Women are just like this now.
Well, black people,
you know,
it's funny, the funny thing about black people is that white men tend to want to kind of sometimes emulate the coolness of black men, and white women like the sassiness of black women. And so, yeah, it will cross over.
Yeah, so what we're saying now,
hip hop music's being shared with all kinds. You know, you look at Tom Hanks' son.
Yeah, there's a lot of sassy white women right now too.
Right, and so, but what I will say is, if you think you have to move on, then you should move on.
I say,
don't waste your time.
And I say this all the time. I say that when men say this, I do say this all the time. I don't have a problem with interracial anything. Like, I think that's a great thing. If you find someone, I believe in love, so I'm there. I'm not literally thinking about, you know, like, the fact that she's white. I just don't. I don't feel that it's. I think it's counterproductive, I guess, to weaponize a white woman, you know, in that way, and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go over to her. Because, and I'm really, honestly, in a way, kind of speaking up for the white woman at this point, because it's kind of like, you know, you should really like somebody for who they are, not use them for what they are. because you're in a spiteful mindset. You know what I mean? Like there was a point in time where I didn't understand men, but I didn't feel spiteful where I went and just dated a slew of white men. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel I felt that I just needed to, you know, like figure myself out. Like if you feel you need to go over to white women because there's so many, and you are not.
And you live in the United States. You're
Yeah.
you're not living in Africa.
Right.
I mean, you're living in a melting pot. So if you're whatever woman you want to date that makes you happy, that's what really matters. That political demographic makes sense. Most white women are split between conservative and Democrat, but black women are, I mean, in the upper 90 percentile as Democrats.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when you have a demographic of women who only vote one way and they take on the ideals of feminism, because that's the feminist party.
Yeah.
That's the feminist party, is the liberal party. You know what I mean? And if all those women are voting that way and they believe those values, then yeah, as a black man, it's going to be hard for you to find a black woman that thinks like a conservative, because at least white men have the difference between conservative, because not all white women are for feminism. There are a lot of conservative white women that know their place and they're proud of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, most of the black conservative men I watch on television or I watch on YouTube are all married to white women.
White women, yeah.
Because the pool of conservative women and women who think like Danielle and I, the pool of white women is a lot greater
than
black women are mostly liberal feminists. And so if you're a black man who wants a more conservative lifestyle where you want to be the head of the family, it's gonna be tougher.
Yeah.
Because they have you know, taken and believed in, you know, feminism hook, line, and sinker. They really have.
Yeah.
And so this is the black woman's mind.
Yeah.
Most black women.
We just believe very traditional values, which is I think why we are not angry black women, because traditional values, it affirms us as women, it affirms us as feminine. So we don't have anger because we are just being ourselves. We're being what we were designed to be as women. And so when you see women now that are going outside of who they are naturally, that can fester up some anger in you because you're not tapping in to who you are. And this is why we support the patriarchy, because I think it settles. I think the patriarchy settles women and gets them to the point where they're supposed to be. Like, let's know what you think about all this. I know we talked a lot. I was kind of curious to know what you think. Are you a black man that's really over it? Like this gentleman is kind of over it? Or, what is your thing? I mean, I just believe love is love. Honestly, when it comes to relationships, I don't really look at color like that. You know, I do love black men, so I'm never going to deny that. You know, but if I were to meet somebody else, then that's just organic. You know, then that's that. But if you're somebody who kind of thinks this way, you're just kind of over it. You know, we want to hear just kind of your thoughts on it and have kind of like a healthy conversation about it. So let us know. Leave some comments below. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.